check my live streams.
Yeah, I guess. And all of a sudden I say, what's going on here?
Hey everyone. Yeah, you can do that one. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, woo! Thanks for spending a warm evening. At least it wasn't last night, right? We had like 80-degree weather. So thanks for coming out this evening. I'm Brian Kelly. I'm your monthly host of A2 New Tech as of last fall. For those of you who haven't been here before, we've been doing this for about the past 7 years. You can believe that or not, over 4,500 people are on the mailing list. And you know, the purpose of this event, if you haven't heard my spiel before, is everybody's busy, doing a lot of stuff every day, are working on their day jobs, working on school, working on whatever your project is, but there's a lot of interesting people in town that you might not have had the opportunity to connect with. And this is an opportunity once a month to get together, hear a couple pitches from other entrepreneurs in the community, and connect with others here. My advice is, if you do one thing tonight, connect with somebody you want to follow up with after this evening. It's a really great intersection of people in Ann Arbor, in technology, in business, and I'm happy you're here. So the format is, we always do this the third Tuesday of each month. 5 companies will give a 5-minute pitch, and we'll do 5 minutes of Q&A. There'll be a timer running down here, so we'll keep things tidy. Do my best too. If you know anybody, if you see some pitches tonight and you say, hey, I got a friend, or hey, I should be up there. If you know someone that might be interested in doing this event, find me. Or email organizers at a2newtech.org, and I'd love to get you up here pitching in the next couple months. We'll be here, same building, back in our original room next week in 1225 on Tuesday, May 17th. And probably be a little bit different crowd kind of rolls in this summer as students go out and new people come in, but we're going to keep this going all summer as long as we got people to pitch. A big thanks to a couple different organizations that help make this possible. A2 Geeks, it's a nonprofit in town that helps put on events like this, Coffee House Coders and others. Roger Rail down here from R2 Vive, who very generously donates his time and AV Command Center to record the event every week here and put it up on YouTube. And Bryce and the whole crew for the Entrepreneurship Clinic at the university that donates the space for us to host every month. So we'll do our pitches, going to knock 5 of them out. We'll do a community announcement after that. So if you have anything you want to announce, looking for a job, you're posting a job, you have something you want help with, or you have another event you want to talk about, definitely come down here during community announcement part. And afterward, a bunch of people make their way over to Pizza House over on 618 Church Street for pizza and beer and continuing the banter. And last but certainly not least, my monthly podcast recommendation. I have a specific episode this time. The podcast is called Growth Everywhere. It's by this guy, Eric Sue. And he had Mamoon Hamin from Social Capital, which is a West Coast VC firm. Title of his talk, or what they cover, is sharing the secrets to why shit gets funded. I like Mamoon a whole lot, and I think he's just got a tremendous amount of knowledge to share. So go check that out. Growth Everywhere, episode 135. So with that, mute your phones if you haven't yet. If you're going to tweet, use hashtag A2NewTech. And I'm happy to welcome our first pitch of the evening, Tim and Eric from Ryde Media. The one-liner for them is they have a platform for local businesses to advertise events, daily specials, and other content to passengers in Uber cars on a kiosk mounted in the back seat. So let's give a warm welcome to Tim and Eric.
Hey guys, my name is Tim. First off, thanks for having us. My name is Tim. I have this company called Ryde Media. I broke free from the shackles of my restaurant management career last year, became a full-time Uber driver. I saw the need for Ryde Media, and the rest is history.
Okay, everybody, my name is Eric. I'm actually roommates with Tim, and I've been involved with Ryde Media since day one, as we started, a year, maybe more ago now. And I have a business degree from Eastern Michigan University, and we connected with, like he said, in his previous employment, which I was also involved with, which was restaurant management. And but since then, I currently am in a sales management position with an energy company, and I'm working on transitioning full-time so that I can dedicate all of my time to Ryde Media. Ryde Media is...
You just said that, so we're gonna move right along.
Okay.
The problem is, there's been 2.2 billion Uber and Lyft trips since 2009. None of their plans were influenced by local advertising. Another problem is Uber continues to drop rates. This trickles down, straight down to the drivers. The solution is Ryde Media Community Kiosk. Who benefits from this? Uber and Lyft passengers, local businesses, organizations, and Uber and Lyft drivers. How passengers benefit? They see relevant ads and have access to local deals and specials based on their destination and the day. They can see upcoming local events. They can scan Apple Passbook codes to enter their emails to get future deals and share it with their friends. And they also have access to weather reports right at their fingertips. The passengers are our customers. They want relevant content. They want to know the hot spots in town. They love technology. They want an experience that goes beyond the typical Uber trip. They don't want to see ads for American Express. They want to know where to get $2 beers and the best latte. They also have quite a bit of money to spend. Local businesses benefit by advertising their content directly to passengers in their city or on the way to their city. Larger businesses can advertise in conjunction with local businesses. For example, find Bell's Two-Hearted Ale at Alley Bar. Local nonprofits that benefit the community will be allowed a limited amount of free advertising space. Local businesses would be our clients. They want to reach the Uber demographic. They want to market to visitors in town. They want the upper hand on national chains. They want to pay for real impressions and interactions, and they want to reach a captured audience that is headed in their direction. Drivers benefit by being paid for the amount of ads they show. Their passengers are more content, their ratings go up. Rideshare drivers are always looking for more time or for more money. They want the freedom to use their own equipment. Just like they use their car to make money, they can also use their iPad or tablet to make more money. They love their passengers occupied. How it works is the driver enters the destination of where they're going and the amount of passengers are going to be viewing it. The background, local events change based on the destination, and the ads change based on the day and the destination. And this would be a quick demonstration. This is what they see. This is a big blown up. It's really just an iPad. This is what they see. It kind of talks about the business. When they get in the car, they see ads, 15 seconds worth. I'm going to kind of scroll through them. Specials at Hopcat. Uber can also get involved with it by reaching their audience in a whole other way than they are not able to do now. The passenger will touch local events and see local events that are happening around town. They can also touch the weather, get the weather forecast. Obviously that is not recent, it's a screenshot from a while back. And they get out of the car and this is what they see. So we got a scenario here. Tyler and his crew are headed to Jolly Pumpkin. They see an ad for Arbor Brewing Company a few blocks away. They have $2 drafts on Tuesday. They change their destination to Arbor Brewing Company. Another scenario is Jane sees an ad for teeth whitening. Jane knows that all of her friends are leaving after spring break soon. She scans her Apple Passbook code for the coupon and shares with all of her friends. She receives a push notification in her phone when they are near the location of the dentist. Scenarios are endless. This is the competition. We're going to talk about that after. This is our traction right here. Our partners currently. And this is what's next for Ryde Media. Things that it can do, but it does not do now. We want to break free from the MVP, because right now I've invested all my money into it. So I'm looking for investors to, I think it's a pretty cool slogan, try to break free from the MVP. Minimal viable product.
Awesome pitch, guys. We've got some questions for Tim and Eric. Fire away.
How much are drivers expected to make?
They're gonna get about between 40 and 50% of ad revenue that comes in. So I want them to make hopefully $200 a month just to have it in their car, using their own equipment.
Have you noticed any pattern in the kind of businesses that have agreed to it?
Local bids for local businesses, because that's really the Uber crowd go to local businesses. They're not going to Applebee's.
So like restaurants?
Things like that. Restaurants, services, maybe for U of M, student services, might be student laundry. Really whatever caters to, I think each area or demographic is going to be unique when it comes to who will advertise with us. So, student services, they obviously wouldn't want to advertise, say, in Canton or something, because that's really not, there's no students there.
Other than their own equipment, is there additional investment the Uber driver has to make?
We're going to ask that they, right now I'm supplying it with the test drivers, I'm supplying it with any. But they will be, I'm going to have them buy them out, and they can either, when they're done with it, if they decide to not do it, they can either keep them out, or I will buy them out back from them. So it's, yeah.
With your test drivers and test passengers, I guess, have they actually changed their route according to a deal that
I've
they
had a
saw?
couple change their route, or especially get excited because they didn't know that there was deep house yoga at Necto. Just things like that, because I had no idea that even existed. That's actually been the most popular ad that I've had, because everybody talks about it.
What's your model in terms of determining advertising costs? Is it performance-based? And one other question, what types of metrics would be available for advertisers?
Right now, I'm charging them for, I've got a couple different zones in Ann Arbor, because we're just in Ann Arbor right now. There's a few different zones, and each one kind of costs a little bit a different amount of money. But eventually, it's going to be by the impression and by the interaction based on one of those two metrics. And that's totally in the back system. I can get those numbers for them. Eventually, it'll all be streamlined. They can go on your website and say, oh, it showed 100 times yesterday or last week or whatever.
Thanks.
Yeah. How much effort does it take for you to sell this package to the retailers? And I guess related, who's doing the actual ads? Are you doing them, or are they using an existing social media agency?
I have found that a lot of places, Instagram, a lot of places that advertise on Instagram just with pictures, those look perfect. Like that is exactly what this means. So it's kind of cool that it's kind of like a cross-platform thing. They don't, a lot of places, they don't even need to design a special ad for it. But I have designed a couple things. I'm not like the greatest at it, especially since it's kind of a new thing. I really didn't know what it should look like, but that's definitely given me a lot more ideas on what clients need. Did I answer the beginning part?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's really cool your support for local nonprofits. What are your motivations for that, and what percentage? I know you said limited. Do you expect to help them?
I would hope for 10%. The whole thing, I kind of want it to be a local thing that does good, as opposed to like the competition. They want national ads in their cars, totally irrelevant to passengers. That's the view though that was right there. That's the competition. It's not a good. Your customer is really your passenger, and they are not giving a great experience for the passenger. Because it's kind of designed to be local and to show people local places to go. Yeah.
So do you use Apple iPads or Android?
iPads now. The next version that we're making is going to be Android also. So be a broader range of drivers. With
So
it.
are you using a 10-inch or a
It's an
8-inch?
iPad Air. It's just the iPad
Okay.
Air one.
Thanks, guys. All right, next up we have Melissa Allen from tinkrLAB, which is an interactive hands-on tinkerspace, makerspace for folks in this room, for kids of all ages. Melissa, you were at the Spark Entrepreneur Boot Camp just a week or two ago, right?
Yes, that's where we met. It was
All
the
right.
Spark Entrepreneur Boot Camp. So,
Take it away.
hi, my name is Melissa and I'm the founder of tinkrLAB. tinkrLAB is a hands-on, interactive tinkering and makerspace for kids. So the need is simple. Kids today are too plugged in. More and more everything that they learn and experience is through a screen. As a result, kids are losing critical skills and experience that come with making and taking things apart. At tinkrLAB, we give children real-life, hands-on, fun learning experience. Through programs like our Inventors Club, they learn to imagine, design, and create their own inventions. Through activities like our Take Apart Tuesday, they get to understand how things are made, all the way from computers and dialysis machines to tennis shoes. We teach them the skills to build whatever it is they can imagine, like trucks and 3D printed hands. With our membership model, kids and their families have access to our tools and our space, and they get help with their projects. We offer STEM-based innovative retail products, classes, birthday parties, field trips, and drop-in times. This allows children access to the experience, and they get to share the process of making with their friends and family. We focus on engineering and help children understand how to go from having a design or a concept to creating an actual physical product. In addition to the makerspace, we sell retail products like building kits and interactive projects. We tailor our programs to things they're already interested in, like teaching them to code using Minecraft. We have a special focus on encouraging girls in the STEM fields. We love them. Hearing our parents and how excited they are about what we're doing really lets us know that we're on the right track with this. So here's the nitty-gritty stuff. We have a huge opportunity. There's over 25 million families with children ages 6 to 14. Our primary targets are suburban, middle-income families with highly engaged parents. Our biggest competition is going to be the well-known children's brands, but the success of our existing location proves that we can compete successfully with them, and that we only need a very small market share to be able to do so profitably. As you can see, a big differentiator is that we're the only one to combine all of these different areas and have a focus on the STEM and makerspace. We're in a mall. The mall loves us, and we were a hit on Kickstarter. We have great support from schools and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. Now we want to be the Build-A-Bear for engineering. This means opening 3 to 5 more stores to prove out our model. After that, we need to raise $5 million to open up the franchise side of things. We are a proven successful model. In 2015, we generated $170,000. We are seeing a continuous 30% growth right now. Demand for our programs was so high, we had to move from 900 square feet to 4,200 square feet 9 months after we opened. With our multiple offerings and revenue streams, which range from retail to field trips, each location is capable of generating $1.2 million in annual revenues once it has become an established location. We see an opportunity for significant growth, and we're looking at the franchising model to support that. So next steps. We currently are in Okemos, Michigan. Now I am a U of M alum, so let's just state that. Our next store, we want to be in Novi in the 12 Oaks Mall. We want to stay in the malls. We think that's a really good fit for us. After that, we want to open 4 to 6 more locations for the corporate structure and then build out that franchise model. We are a 100% women-owned team. We know the market personally. We have the leadership to make this successful. In addition, we both have a proven track record in driving profitable businesses and scaling rapidly. I want to thank you for having us here tonight and hearing about tinkrLAB. And a side note, we need an investor, so if anybody knows investors, send them our way. Thank you very much.
He's got that pitch down. Who's got some questions from Melissa?
First of all, this looks awesome. Really, really cool. I was going to sign up for a makerspace for me one time, and I kind of got blown away by how expensive it was, and I knew I wasn't going to use it every month.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me how much it costs? Is it like a monthly subscription, or do I pay can I pay every time I show up?
So we base everything off of the class model, so you can come per class if you like,
Yeah.
and pay per class. There is going to be a benefit if you're a member of the space. It's $100 for an entire year for a family to come. So it's really not that expensive when you're looking at kids' activities.
Yeah.
We provide an incentive for the families by offering the classes and the workshops either free to members or discounted. But you can attend even if you're not a member.
Cool.
I have a question too.
Sorry, are you supposed to? Take over.
Why does the mall space work for you guys best? Like, why would not be in a school or have your own building or?
So we started out in mall space just to test it. Malls, believe it or not, have a really low rent right now because they're dying and they need help. So like that worked out for us as far as the financial aspect. But parents there's a safety sense going into a mall. It's a very public place. You're not taking your kid into a warehouse in a back alley somewhere. So having that open platform for them to come in was really a benefit. And then parents, they don't have to stay in the space. Mom can go shop, dad can go get something to eat. It kind of is a win-win.
What about like staying in the school though? Like have it at the schools themselves and have other, just so it's more local for people.
We could have it in the schools, but one of the things we really wanted was to have it accessible to people outside of school hours. And schools are very much so that public government entity, and having a for-profit business inside of that doesn't really work out very well. Yeah.
That's so exciting. I imagine you have a lot of like really good word of mouth, but I am curious to ask, how do most people find out about tinkrLAB?
Right now, it's all word of mouth. We have been bootstrapping everything, so I understand all of that. So right now, it's all been word of mouth. We are looking at doing some larger advertising campaigns, but luckily in the Lansing area, we've been able to develop a lot of really great relationships with the newspapers. So they'll come in and write articles about us and help us get the word out. Also, never underestimate the power of mom talk. Get the word out all over the place.
It's awesome.
Have you been using Facebook at all for people that come to the thing and then you can sort of talk about what's going on there and stuff like that?
You mean like a live feed or just Facebook in general?
Just Facebook in general.
We do. We do Facebook in general. A lot of the times we'll have an event and we'll be updating with live pictures. During the event, we want to invite people, even if something has already started, to invite them to see that there's an excitement building. And so we do use Facebook a lot. Again, we're always trying to grow that, but we have been using it significantly to get the word out.
In the back.
What cost does a family afford, what to utilize this?
As far as a membership or attending classes, a family, so it's $100 for a membership for one child, $150 for up to 4 children for a year.
Annually? Okay.
For a year. If you don't want to do the membership, our classes range from $10 to $20 per class. And that's without the membership. With the membership, that's discounted.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Blue in the middle.
Okay. In terms of staff, I think it's working. Are you hiring people with any particular experience or skills? Like, do they require an early development certificate or anything like that? Or are you just hiring anybody?
Right now, we've been hiring a lot of teachers. I have some Montessori teachers who want to. So the benefit that we have is a lot of the people who teach, they're either our parents or they're teachers or there's somebody who wants to get involved in teaching these kids STEM. So I haven't had to necessarily go out and hire somebody because they've kind of come to us. But there is kind of a requirement there that they need to at least like kids and want to teach kids. If they don't, I just put them behind the cash register and that's where they stay. But we do have a lot of teachers and parents who will come in and teach the classes and follow the curriculum that we've developed.
One more question. All right, what was your ask?
Pardon?
What's your ask?
Right now, we're looking at $300,000 for the next store. That will open up our location in the Novi Mall. After that, for the 4 to 6 locations, we're looking for $1 million. And then to develop the franchise model, it'll be about $5 million for that.
All right. Thanks so much. And our back-to-back Lansing pitches are coming in. Corey Washington is in from Michigan State. He's the director of analytics, did I have that right, at the university. And he's going to tell us about a personalized online recruiting platform called Vertexer.
First of all, I want to thank you all for having us. This is really a great event, and we welcome you guys accepting someone from effectively out of state. But I want to start with a little bit of personal experience. My job as director of analytics in the Office of Vice President of Research is partly to help hire people at the university. We hire faculty members, at least help direct hiring faculty members and staff. And we've actually had some challenges in getting highly qualified candidates. But what happened recently, and as I reflected on, is a couple good hires that we made on the basis purely of personal experience by basically me and my friend and boss, Steve Hsu, the VP of Research. I recently brought a woman out from New York who's incredibly talented. She was a postdoc at Columbia. She worked at a pharma company, very efficient. I knew she had a husband who didn't make a lot of money, and she wanted out of New York City because she couldn't afford it. On the basis of that personal information, right, I brought her out to MSU. She was a big hit, and we're now looking to hire her. But something you couldn't have known by looking at her CV or looking at LinkedIn. Similarly, we hired someone who's a statistical geneticist, because my friend Steve Hsu met a guy at a conference and realized the guy didn't particularly like his boss and wanted out of the university where he was right at that point in time. Again, very specific information that you couldn't really know otherwise. And this inspired us to think, wait, right? If we're hiring highly qualified people on the basis of personal information, perhaps this is something we could actually make more widely available. Perhaps we could do in a sort of systematic way what we're personally doing just because we're in a position to hire people. And that's what led to the creation of Vertexer. My name is Corey Washington. I'm the CEO, and I want to introduce my chief technologist.
I'm Andrew Crowder, chief technologist of Vertexer.
So Vertexer is a personalized recruiting platform, and the aims to do for hiring and staffing what Uber did for taxis, what Airbnb did for the hotel industry. That is democratize it by allowing people basically to monetize a resource they've got. Uber, you monetize your car. Airbnb, you monetize your house. With Vertex, you're going to monetize your social and professional network. And we're trying to solve a really basic problem, which is the labor market's inefficient, at least certain parts of it. There's a problem both on the side of the company, which is you have a hard time locating an optimal candidate, or if you find a candidate who's highly qualified, that candidate may not be interested in the job. On the side of the candidate, it may be a perfectly qualified person who might be interested, who may never hear about your job because they're actually not looking for the job. So take my friend in New York, perfectly qualified for the job, she had many other things to do. It's because I knew her that allowed us to bring her in. Our idea is to try to solve this problem by effectively putting someone in the middle, right? And the point is anybody can be a Vertex recruiter, right? Just as anybody can be an Uber driver, anybody can run an Airbnb business. So the essence of the platform is that you have push notifications for jobs that go out to your smartphone, and you can either look at a job and say, this job, I know so-and-so will be perfect for this job. You click on the link, type in the name, and send it in. The person is hired, you're compensated. Similarly, you can keep a contact list, which we call a virtual Vertex Rolodex. It'll match the job listing against entries in your Rolodex, and form you say, so-and-so looks like they're perfect match for this job. Do you think they would be good? And you can elect to send in the name if you choose. And I think fundamentally by doing this, we allow ourselves to occupy a certain market niche that's not really being satisfied. So right now you have your obvious professional networks like LinkedIn, which are basically large maps of age-related CVs. But they basically do these kind of searches on CVs for jobs which are often not personally tailored in a way that an individual can do it. You know your network in a way that nobody else does. And you know what your friends are good at, what your friends are interested in. You know if they're going to be interested in a job in LA or Lansing or Ann Arbor. And that's something you cannot get just from doing a LinkedIn search. Similarly, recruiting and staffing agencies also can't bring this type of specificity because they actually don't know candidates. They don't know what someone's particular interests are. They don't know where their spouse wants to live. This is something that only can come from personalized information. And that's what we want to put in the hands of an individual personalized recruiter. And job boards are also equally generic. So we're currently targeting higher ed. MSU's asked us to build this, and we're going to do this over the course of the summer. Again, the idea is to diversify the pool of applicants by reaching out to non-traditional recruiters. We hope also to expand to other universities and areas where it looks like there's a difficulty finding talent or where there's particularly pressing need in short term. That's it.
Right on time. Just got some questions for Corey. Throw the hand up right there.
Can you hear me up there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm curious, and I'm betting this won't be a problem in higher ed, but as you expand, do you anticipate having trouble with people essentially getting on this and sort of spamming their network in an attempt to make some money?
Absolutely. So there's a bunch of problems along those lines, right? We're thinking of actually compensating people, at least initially, to encourage them by giving, say, a gift certificate for if they just simply submit a couple of names. Don't people making multiple profiles and kind of gaming the system. But you have to place a limit on the number of suggestions people can make. And ideas, eventually in the second version, to create analytics, to essentially give you a rating as far as the quality of your recommendations come in at. And the higher the quality, the more notices you can basically send out for a job. But initially, it's going to be quite tightly limited. Okay.
What's the compensation for a $100,000 hire?
So it's interesting. If you look at the kind of recruiters that work for faculty, or actually not faculty, but say executives at universities, for deanship, you basically pay a firm something like $100,000 to hire a dean. Our view is that you want to give a fraction, say that we're going to charge a monthly salary, say something over $8,000, and that will be split with the recruiter. We haven't figured out exactly the compensation level, but on the order of a few thousand.
So let's say I know someone who would be great for a job at company X, but company X doesn't know about Vertexer yet. Can I play a role in recruiting the company as well?
So that's interesting. We've also thought about, what happens if someone effectively brings in business? I think we need to, my hypothesis is this, right? It's a potentially falsifiable hypothesis. Some people can be very, very good at this. These people you want to retain and probably put on more than just contract work. You want to put these people on, give a certain amount of payment for each company they bring in, each recommendation they make, maybe put them on salary. But initially the model is going to be payment for successful hires. When people prove to be very, very entrepreneurial, I want them allowed to basically be able to create their own business by bringing people into the network and recommending.
So you mentioned that they would give up a name to whoever they're recruiting from. What other personal information do you guys ask for, or is it just the name?
So it's interesting. I think we want it to be as low touch as people want it to be. Some very busy people just may want to send a name, maybe a LinkedIn profile. But ideally, right, if someone wants to have a kind of play more of a recruiting role, we want CV, we want a skill survey, we want background information. Ultimately, this is hopefully going to built into an analytical engine where we can often rate recommendations on the basis of the qualifications of the referrer and recommenders.
How is it filtered? Say, like right now, I have a friend of mine who's looking for a job as a nurse in Cincinnati because the spouse moved there. In this scenario, would I then be sort of listening for jobs within that zip code or that area, or how would I know about what's outside of mine?
That's right. You'd filter for a certain geographic region or a certain profession. Or you could just get the whole, fire hose full. But I assume you're going to want to be specific about it. And then job come across that matches your friend, and you'll send it for me. That's
Harbor region and the startup mentality of looking for really good talent that might be able to fill a role that you don't necessarily know that you have open? Is there, but if you had the right talent, that you would bring that person on? Have you considered that angle from the employer side?
It's interesting. We've thought about this in the sense someone may apply for a job who's highly talented but doesn't quite fit. You want to keep them in your orbit. That's quite difficult to handle, actually, because that person's giving you a name, right, that you may actually not hire with, but you want to compensate them somehow. And yours is actually a more interesting scenario where this person's really good and they should be in the network somehow. We want to treat that case. We don't quite know how to do it yet. Are you in the middle?
I think you were almost going there, but would there be some sort of gamifying where you would partially, I refer people all the time, I'm very excited about this prospect, but I never get paid and it's kind of annoying. So I get people through to face-to-face interviews all the time, but they don't always get hired for reasons I totally cannot control.
So actually one of our team is a gamer, and he thought you actually want to give ratings to recruiters and make it a competition, right? And this, I think, incentivizes people not to send in random people because they want to keep a high quality rating. And absolutely, we really want to gamify. I mean, the plan is initially to start off MSU alums and make it kind of a competition to be sort of the best alum. I'm not an MSU alum, but I have this spirit since I worked there, But otherwise, I think we want people motivated to sort of just try to be the best they can. But ultimately, we want to compensate people.
Thanks so much, Corey.
We're very early stage startup. Thanks.
All right, so if you were wondering what the coffee maker down here was, you're going to find out with the next pitch. I think it has a RS-232 cable going off the back, converting into what looks like some kind of network bridge. Anyway, this is Titania Software. Both Vi and Chris are here to tell us about their interactive content delivery solution for organizations looking to improve their customer-facing and internal procedures with automated, personalized, and IoT-enabled content. With that, take it away.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, not a typical presentation. My name is Vi Kellersohn, and I'm the marketing lead at Titania Software, and with me I have Chris Nitchie, who's our technology lead and U of M alumni. What we want to talk about today is information, and the fact that today's information consumers are really getting more accustomed to having personalized, interactive content at their disposal, whether they're driving and traveling, or they're at home, or they're even working out. Now, with more than 10 billion interactive devices in the market today, in anticipation that the IoT will drive more than 50 billion interactive devices by 2025, and over $15 trillion of economic impact, we're certainly getting the attention of many businesses. At Titania Software, what we allow you to do is to have the interactive content bring the human thing to the IoT and allow consumer applications like the Fitbit, which are certainly very popular today and are getting a lot of marketing expertise. But in B2B businesses, the potential is even greater. In fact, the Wall Street Journal quotes McKinsey research that says for B2B businesses, the 15 trillion is an underestimation of the market opportunity. Now there's interactivity at a variety of levels. You can have simple interactivity of just taking static pages in PDF and managing a workflow. You can have interactivity where you can actually capture user inputs and give people the opportunity to create their own adventure of content, or using machine information to help guide them through information. And ultimately, you have IoT-enabled equipment, like the coffee maker here or your car, that will allow you to have bi-directional information exchange, so that both the content, the document itself, or interactive document, can drive information to both the consumer and to the machine. Now, use case examples, I talked about service information, where you're servicing your car, servicing a coffee maker, standard operating procedures, custom policies, so it's not limited to just connected products, but you can have any type of interactive content that can be policy information, and guided checklists, where you want to be ensure people are following procedure correctly. Like, I want to be sure Chris knows how to make a cup of coffee. So later on, I'll ask him to actually use an interactive document. Brian mentioned that we are an organization that enables companies, or software company that enables organizations to create customer-facing procedures And this is so the documentation team can actually create interactive documents, and they don't need IT or coding behind the scenes. So as you're writing a document, you're no longer just providing a piece of paper or a book, you're actually providing an interactive experience. And this allows users to see all the required information. It allows you to make sure that all of the steps are being followed if you are a manufacturer to make sure your product is being used correctly. It allows you to ensure that all the compliance information you have and all the complete information is being used. So every aspect of the interaction is also captured. We do analytics that allow you to know who did what, when, where, how, and on what device, so that you can make better intelligent decisions on what to do with your information and your products. With that, I'll have Chris demonstrate
All right.
using our connected curator.
So what I've got here is a document that was generated by the documentation group. This isn't a custom software product. This isn't something that the IT team had to have a lot of involvement in. The documentation group went in and wrote up the procedure for how you brew a cup of coffee in this case, or service a piece of equipment, or whatever it happens to be. So I can navigate through, and based on real-time state, of course, it breaks in the live demo, based on real-time state, it's going to tell me and dynamically decide what's going on. You may have to take my word for it. It was working in my chair 2 minutes ago. Boy, whoever wrote this is in trouble. Yeah, it's not going to work. Outstanding.
Sometimes.
Imagine if you will.
Yeah. So what I can show, I think, is kind of the man behind the curtain. So what's happening here is we've got our live document. It's got interactive widgets inside of it that allow you to display and input. The user can input information, and it can also display live readings out of the piece of equipment. Things like the reservoir level, which is why I'm holding a giant jug of water. I was going to show you that it's going to tell me that it's empty, and then as I pour water in, you would see the number on the screen go up in real time. Basically, once we execute the task, we're able to gather all of the information in real time, what the user did, who the user's identity was, what they did when, what the values were. Every time a value changed, we record it, and we're able to store it in the back end such that we can generate reports on it. So here's a previous one that I ran earlier, and you can see we've gathered all the information, stored it in the database, and we've also got an audit log of everything that happened. So we can use this to generate various reports and do various compliance levels.
And we'll run a real live demo.
Anybody who wants to see it, come see me after. I swear it's works. What's that?
What if you hit the big green button?
Well, hey, I give you credit for braving and having the whole demo hooked up down here, rails and working. We got 5 minutes questions or to make the demo work. Who's first?
What's your initial target market?
Manufacturers, we're going after manufacturing. We have customers in the manufacturing environment. So medical equipment manufacturers, we actually have exercise equipment manufacturers right now.
The maintenance side?
Sorry?
You're saying the maintenance side of like that equipment?
Yes, so the installation and implementation, so for a lot of our medical device manufacturers, when you install medical equipment, it has to be set and calibrated with specific information instructions, and they don't have today a way of confirming if that is being done to the specifications of their product.
Did you run your demonstration for us?
It takes me to, so that first question was, is the power light on? Power light is on, but I'm going to lie and say no. So the user can put information in, get to the run, and get to a diagnostic step. And this is actually, in the flowchart tool, this would be a loop. So it's going to ask me again, and as long as I say no, it's going to run me through these steps. Finally, I'll say yes. Here is where we have 10%, the sensor's a little hinky, but as we pour water in, it's going to go up in real time until it gets above 30. If I click next before it got above 30, it wouldn't let me continue. So it's going to enforce that business rule that the reservoir be full. Here's the step where we put in a K-cup, and it's showing. Don't do it. It's showing right now that the lid is closed. If I click next, it says, "Hey, the lid's closed. You got to open it to continue." So let's open that lid, and now we can continue. Now it's the step where we put in a K-cup. We're showing the boiler temperature in Celsius there. whether the heating LED is on or off, the lid is open, and this time, the lid's supposed to be closed. So now the lid is closed, I come here. This is my favorite one. So you see that going on, off, on, off? Look at that light. And then we go through, we brew the cup, and we get to this last step that lets you enter information. So we're flowing information two ways, from the user into the system, from the device into the system. And all of this is tied together by the documentation authors. This isn't an IT-built application. It's built by the people that know how to communicate to the end user.
And multiple people can be inputting to the procedure at the same time too. So Chris could stop, I could start. It would know when I started, when Chris stopped, what Chris did to break the coffee maker, and what I did to fix it.
You gonna drink that?
It's a shot.
Question here. How often will you be capturing data? Will it only be while you're going through this initial process, trying to figure out how to use it or debug it, or will it be capturing this constantly?
It will be capturing constant. So anytime you run the application, we're recording in an audit log every single thing that happens.
But only while you're running the application?
But only while you're running the application, yeah. So if you've got your IoT infrastructure, this is designed to be a piece of a broader IoT infrastructure. So if you need more concrete device management type features, that'll be from your IT provider. What we provide is the widget that lets your documentation team provide dynamic documentation and real-time interactive documentation on top of that platform.
Is this a stock unit, or has that been modified to accommodate your software?
Not a stock unit, no. We've got we're looking at doing another one in a slightly more straightforward way. This one has some analog sensors in here that are feeding into there's a big brick down here that's actually designed to take readings from refrigerated trucks. That would be a Cat5 cable plugged into a Raspberry Pi, which actually the server side of this application is light enough that it actually runs on the Raspberry Pi directly. That IP address in my URL bar is actually the Raspberry Pi down there.
Do you have to have a computer next to every coffee maker?
No, this is actually.
Or do I have to run back and forth to my cubicle?
Right. No, this is actually running over Wi-Fi. So I could take this and up to I could actually show it to you on my phone, and that would work as well. So I have done exactly this demo on my phone before as well.
So like an MIT, you can check the coffee pot in your office.
One last question here.
Okay, is the interface going to be web-based all the time, like built on HTML and whatnot, or is it going to be through a different?
That tends to be least common denominator. I think that's a low enough bar that most people can read it. We use an XML format for the authoring called DITA, and then we transform that into HTML for this, but anybody that can turn their content into an HTML type format can feed the system.
All right, let's give a round of applause. Doing it live. All right, so last up here, we have our friends from Toledo that have come up to probably more A2 techs than anyone else I know in Toledo. I'd like to welcome Jake and Alex from Cycle. Cycle, anyone know anything about containers, Docker, ever heard of that stuff? Yeah. So their one-liner is smarter containers, simpler deployment. Cycle is the easiest way for developers to deploy Docker containers to bare metal infrastructure around the world. Take it away, guys.
As you mentioned, I'm Jake Warner, and this is Alex. And this is less of a pitch and more of a demo, because today we are actually starting our public beta. So after 11 months of development, no one has actually really seen this yet. So today's the first bit.
Congratulations. All right, so who here knows about containers? Anybody have any idea? Use Docker? All right, we got some hands up in the back. Everybody probably is familiar with virtual machines, at least on some level. So a lot of the time, people ask us, what's the difference between virtual machines and containers? Well, containers are akin to opening up a new thread in Chrome versus starting up an entire computer with an operating system, waiting for it to boot, turn on, wait for your software to get installed, make sure everything's running, you have all your dependencies. As you can see, this is obviously a big mess when you're trying to deploy a software application to perhaps thousands of computers if you're writing a big enough one. So containers are great, we love them. But we wanted to make them better, because what we realized is you can have all these containers, but you don't necessarily have a way to get them to a bunch of different computers, hook them up to the network, plug them in, make sure they're online and running, and have all the dependencies managed for you. What Cycle does is it makes it easy for you to upload your containers onto our platform, and we deploy, scale, and manage the entire thing, networking, all of it, right here in our interface. You don't have to have any networking or any infrastructure or anything to run it.
So I'm sure most of you know what WordPress is, and throughout this demo, we're going to go through the steps, and we're actually going to deploy WordPress in the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And so I'm going to import a Docker Hub image. Docker is the biggest kind of central repository for building these, containers. And I didn't copy ahead of time. So we're going to import. We're going to put the location of where we can find it on Docker Hub, and we're going to click import. And as you'll see, a progress bar will start at the bottom. We'll actually go out, download it, do all the preparation, all the building, so you don't even have to build any of this local on your machine. Our infrastructure takes care of everything. And we're also, by the end of this week, we're actually going to be creating the functionality, or finalizing it rather, so that you can import directly from a Git repository. That way, if you have any code, as long as you have a Docker file, the root of that repository, we'll do the build, we'll do everything. So you don't have to do any local builds, you don't have to upload anything, just link everything up and you're good to go. For the sake of saving time, although this will take very little time, and potentially already be done, we're 80%, but we're going to build one using an image that is already done.
So an environment is what we've set up so that you can have all of your containers networked together with private isolated networking. So no matter what data centers that your containers are running in, they'll be able to communicate privately without public access to the internet. So the container, or the environment kind of acts as the house for all of these containers. So we just set up a quick one and we deployed it to our Chicago infrastructure, which means any containers we launch in here, if we choose a scalable container, we'll be able to deploy it to our Chicago servers. So right here, we're going to be adding a container into our environment. We have a list of images that we've already pre-built. And then we've got two types of containers. We have persistent and scalable. If you guys have deployed databases or something, obviously you don't want 4 or 5 copies of your database running around because then who knows which data is correct. For our demo, we're only going to do a persistent one, which means 1 copy of that container running at any time. When we launch our full version, we're going to have scalable functionality, which means you're going to be able to actually have our system monitor traffic and resource usage of that container and deploy it to more containers, or I'm sorry, to more infrastructure as your app grows in activity. We've got these plans available right now, and as you can see, 128 megabytes. If you're launching a virtual machine with 128 megabytes, you're probably going to have a really awful time. What's great about containers is they're just a process. It has everything it needs right there to run as a separate process on the bare metal of our machine. There's no virtualization at all, which means that 128 megabytes is 128 megabytes of RAM to run one process in, which is quite a hefty amount. So we've got our container created. We're going to come in here, and it's easy as clicking the Start button. We're going to get the entire WordPress installation from the MySQL database all the way up to the Nginx and WordPress itself running. And this should probably take less than 15 to 20 seconds to get started here. It's already allocated an IP address, which means this is already publicly accessible. We just approved it's not done starting yet. There it is, now it's running. We're going to refresh. It's going to take a second because MySQL, this is the first time we've run this WordPress container, which means MySQL is going to get set up. There it is. One more time.
This is doing the full installation of WordPress right now.
Yeah. So go ahead, refresh. Should be in. There you go. And in that fast, you can start WordPress. Now, it's important to note that we did WordPress as a quick example, but this would be microservices. You could deploy literally any piece of software onto our cloud and have it run with little to no configuration.
And you can see that this is, you see the log of your container being built and started. So no matter what you're doing, like Alex just said, you'll be able to see the entire process. So.
All right, live demo. You guys managed to get a demo in and a pitch in 5 minutes. I'm super impressed. So, who's got some questions for our presenters? Anyone? Start down here.
Your design looks pretty nice. Do you have a designer that you work with, or do you use stock, UI?
Everything's custom.
Yeah, we built everything between the two of us.
Looks good.
So actually in our infrastructure, there's like a lot of our competitors, everything is based on Docker. And although we do import Docker images, everything in our infrastructure, everything that we've written is actually built on the raw container runtime, so that as other companies adopt to the open container model, we will support any type of container.
CSS looks nice too.
What's involved with provisioning a data center to support the system?
So we actually pick the data centers and hook them up.
Okay.
There are people that we're partnering with. Right now we're partnering with Single Hop, and we're in their Chicago infrastructure. We're going to be deploying our software cycle itself into those ones, and then it'll come online, and you'll be able to just select which data centers you want to actually deploy your stuff in.
Right now we only have Chicago online, but we'll have Arizona and then Amsterdam online next week.
Do you guys think you'll be competing against at some point more like what people do with Kubernetes and all the cluster management and?
Yep, we expect to compete against them. The big difference is that our target that we're going after is people that don't care about these servers. They want on demand, upload a container and go.
Kind of like the DigitalOcean for containers.
Okay, cool.
And unlike DigitalOcean, which can also power containers, what they do is they just install Docker on top of a virtual machine. So you don't have any of that speed or the increased performance that containers natively have. Where since we run everything on bare metal, the containers will actually be the same speed as the host server. And then we just put resource limits so that you can't go out, you can't take over the entire box. But overall, it'll be much, much faster.
Another question down here. Do you have any data about how much faster?
I have the report I can send you.
I'd be curious to see that, yeah.
It runs just from, they have a graph that, I don't know if you have it on your laptop, but it shows virtual machines static about here, native performance up here, and containers just slightly underneath that. There it is. Yeah, that's right.
So the red line is your native host, the blue line will be a container running natively that is not in a virtualized environment, and the green line is traditional virtual machines.
Question back up here.
So how fast will your WordPress site get hacked? Like if you refresh it, what do they show up?
So right now, someone installed it.
Somebody's having fun out there. The dangers of sharing public IP
As another quick demo, something I want to do is
show the homepage.
We're going to shut off this container because obviously somebody is down
No, they're probably in the room.
Somebody out there.
So it's important to note that, obviously this is just one container, nothing, obviously outside the container. But as we're currently being that container, one of the performances or one of the unique things since we built everything all together is in just how incredibly fast it is. So I'm going to stop, and hopefully I can get back to the terminal before it stops. So you can see the request has went through, and the computer's already offline.
Yeah. So, I mean, how long does it take you to shut off your computer the proper way? Obviously, a little bit longer than that, but go ahead and start it back up now that we've got the full installation.
Yeah, so we'll start it again. And you'll see how long it takes to come back online.
Back online, the entire process, launched, ready to go.
And then we'll say, hey, we only had 128 megs assigned to this container. Let's assign let's assign half a gig. We'll save. We'll see that the container will come offline as it's going to resize. It's back online in 3 seconds. And so even if you had 100,000 instances, since this is all scalable, there's no central point of failure in any of this. Everything is node-centric, and everything runs in active-passive for high availability. Even with tons and tons of instances, you'll get the same performance.
So it's not pricing. It looks like $3 a month for like what's like equivalent like a micro instance.
Yeah.
So how would you position it against like what Google Cloud Platform or like AWS might be doing around some of their services here?
So really, our plan isn't to be the most cost-efficient way to do this. We want reliability. We want standardized, really kind of like the performance factor for containers. We want them to be the highest performing, best deal you can get to run these containers. Pricing, we're still kind of playing with a little bit. We're not 100% solid on these numbers, but until June 1st, we're going to have free infrastructure. So if you guys want to go ahead and create some accounts, we've got a beta code up that we're going to put on the screen, and you're going to be able to go online, create your account, and have free infrastructure hosting until June 1st. After that, the credit will get you, I think, a $35 credit onto your account to continue using. So. You have the slide available.
While they're getting that up, thanks so much, guys. This was a terrific pitch. If you go to A2 New Tech,
we'll give you guys $35 credit when we do start charging. But until then, go crazy. Well, not too crazy.
Cool. So that commences the pitch part of the evening. Last thing we have is community announcements. So if anyone has any events they want to announce, looking to hire,
we're hiring.
get hired. These guys are hiring. Go work for them. They did all this, just the two of them. So come on down and line up down here. Oh yeah. Here. I'll direct our ideal camera location. I think is right where this gentleman's standing.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrick. I organize the local Ruby meetup. Our next meeting will be 1 week from tonight at the offices of Atomic Object, and the topic will be Ruby for data science. You can find us on meetup.com if you want more information, or you can come talk to me. Thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Sam. FarmWalks is hiring, and also there's a design meetup that we host every once in a while. See some design faces around. Go to Meetup and look at Ann Arbor Design Group and come join us. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Travis Thompson. I work with Jeff Sakamoto in the mechanical engineering department here at the university. I've been spending about 1.5 years commercializing a new solid state battery, and we were recently awarded an RPE grant to begin device prototyping. And we're looking to hire a technician to assist us in this. No experience with batteries is required. This is something that's new for us. If you're interested in this position, please contact me at ttom@umich.edu. It's TTHOM. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brooke Boyle. I'm the new lead at Arbor Networks for community engagement. It's a new role of reinvesting in the local community, so we're looking to sponsor meetups locally, and then we have a couple of positions that are open, one for our front-end UI web position, and then for a tools developer. So if you have experience with C, Python, Java, come and find me. Thanks.
Hi, my name is John Dryden, and I'm a program coordinator right here at UMich. I work for the business school, and on May 6th, we're hosting a smart home event that will challenge students to think about how to drive adoption of smart home technologies among consumers and especially among early adopters. And so we wanted to make all of you an offer. If any of you are available during the day on the 6th and you happen to already have some smart home technologies, and these could be Nests, it could be Wink, it could be Philips Hue lights, but ideally a nice portfolio of smart home technologies, and you would be willing to host a small group of students at your home for 1 to 2 hours on Friday during the late morning, early afternoon. We'll give you $200 for the privilege of doing so. So you can email me at jcdryden@umich.edu. I've also got some business cards, and I'll hang around for a little bit after the meeting. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Leone. I'm in the logistics business, and I'm here to read. It's my first time being here. Played football at Michigan for Schembeckler, so I know this place pretty well. I'm looking for a project manager, and I'm looking for someone that can write code. I've been working on this for a year. It's a splendid idea. I've tried to contact people at U of M and Eastern, and I've tried Ann Arbor Spark, and I've tried everywhere. And then someone said, why don't you show up to this tech event? So I have cards with me. I'll give you my name. I'm a local guy. I work out of Detroit, but I've got an interesting proposition, and it'll be a meaningful pay. So I'll have my cards over here. My name's Mike. I've never met a mirror I didn't like.
Go blue, Mike.
Hey guys, my name's Scott. I run a couple meetups in town, one of which is the A2 Brew Tech, which you can find on the same group as the A2 New Tech page. And we're having an event at Mezzovino a couple weeks from now. So if you want to enjoy beers and talk entrepreneurship, sign up on the A2 New Tech page. And I also run Coffee House Coders, so if you want to learn how to code before you come to the A2 Drink Up, come to Coffee House Coders, that's tomorrow. And then just one last tiny thing. We're trying to interview people that are hiring just to kind of check into things for a startup that I'm running with Mike called TrueJob. So if you're hiring and you're a startup, and we'd just like to interview you 15 minutes and see how you guys hire. So reach out to me afterwards, but thanks.
Me again. If you know SAML, I would like to talk to you. If you know Spring Security, I would like to talk to you. And if you know both, I would like to really talk to you. So let me know.
Hi, I'm Doug Song, CEO of Duo Security. As always, we're hiring. If you go to jobs.duo.com, you'll find all the jobs we're hiring for. I want to let people know also about an event that's coming up Monday, April 25th. It's part of the Girl Develop It in Arbor meetups. We're hosting a Meet the Company event at Duo from 6 to 8 at our office, April 25th. But I encourage you to check out actually all the other events that Girl Developers has organized as well. They do everything from introductory programming classes, so there's one's coming up April 21st. I'm beginning true beginners to programming, as well as one introduction to Python coming up May 16th. But if you check out Girl Develop It in Arbor on meetup.com, you'll find all their events as well.
One last announcement from me. So my day job, I run product at a company in town called Nutshell. And 2 months ago started the first Ann Arbor product meetup for product managers, people in product marketing, and just been an awesome turnout for 2 events in a row. Thanks Sam and FarmLog's crew for hosting our last one. We're going to continue hosting these the second Tuesday of every month. Our next one's going to be at Barracuda. Alon Yaffe, who is director of PM there, will be running an event to say what the heck should product managers be doing all day. So if you're interested in product management or have done some work or curious about it, please show up. Look for our meetup group, A2Prod, on meetup.com. And also for sort of the extended A2 New Tech crowd, we have a Slack for Made in A2. This is a place to trade links, whatever topic you're interested in. If you want an invite, we have a Slack in, just ask me for it. I'll post it somewhere. You can find it, it's not too hard. But we've already got about, 30 or 40 people on there, so keep them coming.
Remind them to post any of the announcements on the meetup.
Oh yeah, good call. If you add a comment to the meetup group tonight, that'll go out to everyone who attended here. So that's a good way to get your digital plug in as well. So that's a wrap. We'll have some folks hanging around here for a little bit this evening and then making their way over to Pizza House. Please, you're welcome to join us. Bring your friends who couldn't make it tonight, and hope to see you here again next month.